Folks, nearly half of the 65 plus year olds that were polled. And I don't care how big or small the sample is. Half of them said that, yeah, we should redefine what free speech is. We should make hate speech a crime. Half! Can somebody tell me in what freaking world would half the people whose generation is responsible for helping us win World War II would all of a sudden today decide that hate speech should be a crime in the United States of America? I do not live on this planet anymore. This is an alternate universe. It has to be. Am I the only one who feels... I could pull out my hair and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't feel anything because, hey, in an alternate universe, it could be anything. This is that stupid movie of Tom Cruise, Vanilla Sky. It has to be it. It cannot, either I'm on a real life sliders and Jerry O'Connell, is running around with me. He's got to be around here someplace looking for another portal. Or I have, fallen asleep or been put to sleep in a deep freeze or what have you, suspended animation, and I'm either currently dreaming or I've woken up in another time frame, and they brought me back, and none of this, because this would not exist in my world. This cannot possibly exist. Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a denial here, folks, because I cannot believe that this is real in the United States of America today. If this is even close to true, and I'm not a huge fan of polls, but I got to tell you, looking at what we've been seeing on the news when it came to them doing the Texas thing, the Mohammed cartoonist thing down in Texas, and listening to the responses from even the Republican pundits, I got to tell you, they're on track here with this poll. That's scary. So we have a bunch of people who think that we should redefine the First Amendment and make hate speech a crime. All the while, we have a presidential candidate in the name of Hillary Clinton who proudly went out and hired an illegal alien to work on her campaign. She hired an illegal alien. Now, according to hate speech rules, I am sure calling this person an illegal alien is probably hate speech that would be construed as hateful and should be punished by rule of law. I would have to call him an undocumented dreamer. He's a part of the DREAM Act, I guess. That doesn't exist. But in reality, legalese terms, he's an illegal alien. Hillary Clinton hired him. Her campaign hired this guy, and they're not denying it. They're kind of proud of it. But hey, this is you Democrats you liberals out there. Now you're saying that this is the smartest woman on the planet. So now you want a president. You're telling me that you want a president who probably falls in line with this hate speech crap, who wants to redefine the First Amendment so that there's hate speech. And that's punishable. You don't have illegal aliens anymore. They're all undocumented workers, and we're going to make them documented because we're going to give them amnesty. That's what, allow them to break the law and then reward them. That's fine. All the while, because hey, after all, she's an apparent lawbreaker herself. And you're probably saying, you got to prove it, Rod. No, she's already admitted it. It is against the law for a government official to have their own email outside of government email servers that they're using for government business. She did that. That's illegal. But that's okay. So the notion, the very notion that she went out and hired an illegal alien to work on her campaign, I mean, that's a direct pandering to the Hispanic community. Look what I did. I hired an illegal. Sometimes this is one of those days, folks, that I just want to throw up my hands and become, like Grizzly Adams, just move out into the mountains somewhere and live off grid. Although if I did that, I'd probably get taxed. There'd be some alternative tax for me to do that, I'm sure. Oh, you can't live off grid. You do that, you living out in that cabin, you gotta connect to the grid somehow. And if I speak out against connecting to the grid, I'm sure, hey, we've redefined, what free speech is, and right now you're talking that hate speech stuff, dude. Yeah, we're gonna have to bring the heavy hand of the law down upon you. Can't be talking that hate speech now. So now they want to control your thoughts. Well, this is a liberal mentality. I told you, you get big government people. They want to control you every which way they possibly can, including what you think. And I know there are people that have said to me, Rod, you can't control what people think. Oh, yes, you can. You can control what people think into silence. Sure, they're not gonna openly express what they're thinking. They're gonna hide it. And that means true public discourse and disagreement is going to be squashed, and that's the whole goal. They don't want anybody talking up who disagrees with them. Look, we know this is true of liberals. If you disagree with them, man, they want to shout you down. They want to shut you up. They don't think that you should. I bet you if I do not get protested this summer, then I guess I'm not doing my job. Because I talked to a security guy, a personal security person, and we talked for about 2.5 hours. And he was giving me all this information about things that I should do in order to, as my program goes and grows and I become more and more known, that I should think of things of how to better protect myself. And one of the things that he suggested is that eventually I'm going to need a personal bodyguard or two. Like, are you kidding me? But he's like, well, you're in the business of inciting hate. So I'm not inciting hate. All I'm doing is speaking what I believe to be the truth. And he said to me, that's inciting hate. I said, look at you. You're a black guy talking about conservative values in the Constitution of the United States. There is half the population that hates that kind of thing. Now I'm sitting there looking at him thinking, what? So is it going to be that conservatism itself could someday be ruled as hate speech? Think about it. If you got a well-known conservative speaker goes to a college campus and you get a bunch of liberals that crash into this speech and shout him down and keep him from talking, what would they do to anybody else who's a conservative? If they think that this guy is so bad and so mean and so evil and so mean-spirited, if they think conservatives are so mean-spirited and are only for the rich and that they need to be taken out and shot, trust me, there are liberals who've said that. It is not that much of a leap at all. It's a baby step to actually take this a step further and say at some point, you got people who want to have certain types of speech labeled hate speech, and they want that illegal, and that's exactly their goal. Do not doubt me, folks. Their goal is to make dissenting opinion illegal. They don't want you to dissent from them because they don't want to have to defend their position. They just want to say whatever they want to say on a liberal side and have you accept it. Even if the proof is that there's no such thing as global warming. Oh, no. You can't say that. The polar caps aren't melting. There record snow. There's record ice in the South Pole and in the North Pole. No, that's hate speech because you're against man-made global warming. This is where it's going, folks. Oh, no. You can't draw a cartoon of Mohammed making fun of Muhammad, but you could sure as hell draw cartoons making fun of Jesus Christ. That's fine because, you Christians, you're supposed to be all accepting that kind of thing. You forgive everything, blah, blah, blah. There you go. So that's not hate speech, but the Muhammad thing, that the Islamists don't like it at all. That's hate speech. Well, Christians don't like it when you disparage Jesus Christ either. But we don't run around trying to shoot people and behead them. But we're the ones who are considered hateful. And we're supposed to just sit by and accept this type of garbage. And look, once you go down the road of defining what is hateful in speech and what is not, you shut off dissent. And you are no longer a free society. You become a dictatorial fascist state. Who then determines, even if something you don't think is hateful, they can come up and just decide, no, we don't like that kind of speech anymore, so it's going to be deemed hate speech. So, off to jail with you. Look, we saw this happen in Nazi Germany. We saw this happen in the Soviet Union with Stalin. We saw this happen under Mao in the rise of communist China. We see this type of thing up in North Korea today. People who are lucky enough to escape North Korea, they tell us it's bad in North Korea, man. Let me tell you, don't believe anything they say. It's bad up there. You can't say a darn thing that is even close to being negative to the all wonderful, dear leader up there. Can't do it. You're gonna end up disappearing one day, never to be seen again. There is no such thing as dissent in North Korea. Is that where we want to go here in the United States of America? Do we really want to get to the point where there's absolutely no dissent, no dissenting opinion anymore? Where does this stop? Where does it stop, folks? Look, you got to draw a line in the sand right here and say it goes no further. You do not touch the First Amendment. You do not start labeling things as acceptable and things as hate speech. Because the very notion of something that you believe is perfectly fine, somebody else is going to deem to be hateful. I'm telling you, don't doubt me, folks. You doubt me, you're going to lose your freedom. I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out of time for today. Be back here tomorrow. Until then, this has been the Rod Eccles Show. I'm out.